Blessed beauty, be my guiding light. Guiding light. Blessed beauty, show the way. Blessed beauty, my protector. Help me grow in love for you, day by day. Is it okay you can deal with them? Not yet. It's just that it's got this line in there about being my teacher, and since we're talking about education, I just read it. So cool.
I'll sit it out.
I hate when you do that. That's okay. I hate when you say that.
No, that's good.
What time is it? No.
It's time.
C'est le temps pour commencer.
Oui.
Let me go ahead and hit the Facebook post. It's going to be interesting.
We're here.
Well, good morning, everyone. Everyone out there in Zoom land and everyone in Facebook land. Hope everyone is doing well today. It is cold here today, folks. I don't know if anyone from up north is joining us today, but we're all the way down in the 50s. It's in the 50s. It's supposed to get up to like high 60s, maybe even 70 degrees, which for Florida, at least for the Sun Coast part of it, is actually a tad chilly. But wherever you are, we're glad that you can join us. How you doing today, Daryl?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. I'm missing our director, producer, and camera person, and off-camera stage manager who tells us everything to do. Nini's not here today. Let's see. We can see the folks in Zoom. We see Gidi's here, Niraj is here, and Tarane is here, and Alice is here, and Kim Bees is here. Who's that guy with the guitar? Oh, that's me. And Alahe is here, and I know Gidi's other sister is here, but I can't remember her name, and it's in small print. But how are you? How's everyone doing? We're just glad all of you could join us, and maybe we need to go ahead and get started.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we come to praise His name together. Good morning. Good
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
My
morning,
friends,
my friends.
sing Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With his love, our spirits are illumined as we glorify his name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning,
Good morning.
good morning,
Good morning.
good morning, good morning, my friends.
My friend.
Good morning,
Good morning.
good morning,
Good morning.
good morning,
Good morning.
my friends.
My friend.
Again, good morning, everyone. It's good that all of you could join us today. That's Sue Gerson. I already see there. Hello, Sue. How are you? Well, folks, today we are going to be talking about education. Now, before you go to another website, we're going to be talking about spiritual education and the importance of it. Our readings today, once again, are coming from Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality. And what we're going to be reading about, the passages we're going to be reading about, are all about the importance of humanity's spiritual education. And again, for anyone who's interested in being able to see this in actual print, again, it's coming straight word for word from Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality, which is a book of compilations of the writings having to do with the importance of, again, spiritual education. And whereas we don't normally do this, I think it's important that we start with the introduction of this particular chapter, because it talks about why spiritual education is important and where do we get the spiritual education. So, Daryl, if you'd be so kind as to start on humanity's spiritual education.
Humanity's spiritual education, of course. Baha'u'llah indicates that the revelation of spiritual power comes to humanity in two ways. One is general revelation, which flows to all creation, without which the physical world would cease to exist. A second specific revelation is accessible to human beings to provide for their spiritual awakening and transformation. Despite the fact that the nature of spiritual reality is objective, human beings would never be able, unaided, to discover the principles and laws which govern its operation. They would remain as uncultivated orchard, they would remain as an uncultivated orchard that bears no fruit. It is for this reason that God sends an intermediary, an educator, whose purpose is the cultivation of the human spirit. They would remain as an uncultivated orchard that bears no fruit. It is for this reason that God sends an intermediary, an educator whose purpose is the cultivation of the human spirit.
Mhm.
The series of divine intermediaries are like teachers in one school who contribute to a never-ending process of human development, each building on what came before, while further releasing the potentialities latent in the human race. These educators reveal teachings and laws suited to the current stage of human social progress. This true religion, which is essentially one despite its new manifestation in every age, is not humanity's reaching to God, but rather God's instructions to guide humanity.
Could you read that sentence again, please?
Yes, these educators reveal teachings and laws suited to the current stage of human social progress. Thus, true religion, which is essentially one despite its new manifestation in every age, is not humanity's reaching to God, but rather God's instructions to guide humanity. Only when human interpretations have contaminated, only when human interpretations have contaminated the original teachings does the perfect instruction in human reality degenerate into superstition.
Wow.
Then does the new educator appear to renew the pure teachings.
Could you go ahead and finish that?
Yeah.
He's just turning the page. I'm sorry.
Human beings are called upon to recognize the source of this spiritual education and follow its guidance. Baha'u'llah's teachings are the latest restatement of the divine purpose suited to the current spiritual, social, and material needs of the human race. Baha'u'llah's teachings are the latest restatement of the divine purpose suited to the current spiritual, social, and material needs of the human race. Through his guidance, the stupendous material achievements brought about by scientific mastery of physical reality will be renewed, reinforced, and even overshadowed by the moral and social progress that will transform human civilization through mastery of spiritual reality.
You said a mouthful there.
It is a mouthful.
It is, but it's so important that we understand the importance of the manifestations of God, why they come, and the fact that following them isn't just about, what most people might think of, or what many people might think of as just getting into this place called heaven. It is also about enhancing or progressing in this earthly life, civilization progressing in this earthly life, and moving us forward spiritually, as well as in other forms of progress and so forth. It's all based on spiritual education.
Right. It's about the education process as well, the general education process, the spiritual education process. But like all education, one of the things that you learn is that
we're getting an Amber Alert is what that is. Sorry, folks. You can keep talking. I'm just going to go ahead and reset that.
One of the ways that you learn is that you repeat some of the same things over and over. So one of the important statements in what I just said is that this is a restatement of the spiritual laws that have come before. And that restatement is just a reinforcement and a basis to progress to the next level.
Thank you for that explanation, because I think that's something a lot of people need to hear. I think that it would be good if one day we talked about, well, for instance, why we ended up Nice. Or the folks on Facebook, we're getting an Amber Alert. Usually it's for a missing child or whatever. And so this is why. Not that we're not concerned. We are, but that's what that alarm is. Yeah, so again, it's about our spiritual education. And so what we're going to be continuing in reading today is the title is from, again, the book Baha'u'llah's Teachings on Spiritual Reality. Our spiritual potentialities are realized through education. I'm going to say that again. Spiritual potentialities are realized through education. So to continue, now reflect that it is education that brings the East and the West under the authority of man. And this is, Abdul Bahá's writings. Reflect that it is education that brings the East and the West under the authority of man. It is education that produces wonderful industries. It is education that spreads great sciences and arts. It is education that makes manifest new discoveries and institutions. If there were no educator, there would be no such things as comforts, civilization, or humanity. I'm going to say that again. If there were no educator, there would be no such thing as comforts, civilization, or humanity. If a man be left alone in a wilderness where he sees none of his own kind, he will undoubtedly become a mere brute. It is then clear that an educator is needed. But education is of three kinds: material, human, and spiritual. Material education is concerned with the progress and development of the body through gaining its sustenance, its material comfort and ease. This education is common to animals and man. Human education signifies civilization and progress. That is to say, government, administration, charitable works, trades, arts and handicrafts, sciences, great inventions and discoveries, and elaborate institutions, which are the activities essential to man as distinguished from the animal. So you've got material education, you've got human education. Divine education is that of the kingdom of God. It consists in acquiring divine perfections. And this is true education. For in this state, man becomes the focus of divine blessings, the manifestation of the words, "Let us make man in our image and after our likeness." This is the goal of the world of humanity. Sounds like someone else out there is getting the Amber Alert now. Okay, got it. I guess we have to keep our phones close. To continue, and again, talking about education, spiritual education, the root cause of wrongdoing is ignorance. And we must therefore hold fast to the tools of perception and knowledge. Good character must be taught. Light must be spread afar, so that in the school of humanity, all may acquire the heavenly characteristics of the Spirit and see for themselves beyond any doubt that there is no fiercer hell, no more fiery abyss than to possess a character that is evil and unsound. No more darksome pit nor loathsome torment than to show forth qualities which deserve to be condemned. The individual must be educated to such a high degree that he would rather have his throat cut than tell a lie, and would think it easier to be slashed with a sword or pierced with a spear than to utter calumny or be carried away by wrath. Thus will be kindled the sense of human dignity and pride to burn away the reapings of lustful appetites. I think we'll pause for a song. O son of being, O son of being, O son of being, O son, thou art my land and my life is in thee. Get thou from me thy radiance, and seek none other than me, for I have created thee rich and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. And have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. That's one of the hidden words, one of the very popular hidden words was son of being. Thou art my lamp, and my light is in thee. Get thou from it thy radiance, and seek none other than me, for I have created thee rich, and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. I guess we're going to keep hearing the Amber Alerts this morning. And that I always feel the need to point out that that musical arrangement is from a lovely young lady that lives in Thailand by the name of, her name is Pat. She joins us sometimes. But Daryl, if you'd like to continue training in morals. Again, we're talking about the importance of education. This is again for our spiritual development, but the education is not just spiritual education. It's all kinds of education, but we need to emphasize spiritual education. Daryl.
Training in morals and good conduct is far more important than book learning. I'm going to say that again. Training in morals and good conduct is far more important than book learning. A child that is cleanly, agreeable, of good character, well behaved, even though he be ignorant, is preferable to a child that is rude, unwashed, ill-natured, and yet becoming deeply versed in all the sciences and arts. The reason for this is that the child who conducts himself well, even though he be ignorant, is of benefit to others. While an ill-natured, ill-behaved child is corrupted and harmful to others, even though he be learned.
Wow.
If, however, the child be trained to be both learned and good, the result is light upon light.
Mm-hmm.
Children are even as a branch that is fresh and green. They will grow up in whatever way ye train them. take the utmost care to give them high ideals and goals, so that once they come of age, they will cast their beams like brilliant candles upon the world, and will not be defiled by lusts and passions in the way of animals, heedless and unaware, but instead will set their hearts on achieving everlasting honor and acquiring all the excellences of humankind.
Mhm.
Man is the supreme talisman. Lack of proper education hath, however, deprived him of that which he doth inherently possess. Lack of education hath, however, deprived him of that which he doth inherently possess. Through a word proceeding out of the mouth of God, he was called into being. By one word more, he was guided to recognize the source of his education. By yet another word, his station and destiny were safeguarded. The great being saith, regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit therefrom.
And before you continue, not that it matters, but this particular passage, for anyone who, people that know me well, at least they know that I'm a teacher. And Darrell, you've been a teacher too, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're both educators. And this particular passage from the writings, I actually have on my wall in my office because I just feel it's so important. I mean, sad to say, number one, when I first read this the very first time years ago, it starts out, man is the supreme talisman. I had heard the word talisman. I had to look it up. I wasn't quite sure. It's like something that's magic object, something that has great power. And Bahá'í is saying, man is the supreme talisman. But you need education,
Right.
to release the potential that is inherent within you. I just feel, oh wow. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I shouldn't have stopped you, but it's just,
No, that's
I had to get that out.
the mission. Shall I go on?
Yeah.
Okay. The mission of the prophets, the revelation of the holy books, the manifestation of the heavenly teachers, and the purpose of divine philosophy all center in the training of the human realities so that they may become clear and pure as mirrors and reflect the light and love of the Son of reality.
Ooh.
Man is like unto a tree. If he be adorned with fruit, he hath been and will ever be worthy of praise and commendation. Otherwise, a fruitless tree is built. Otherwise, a fruitless tree is but for fire. The fruits of the human tree are exquisite, highly desired, and dearly cherished. Among them are upright character, virtuous deeds, and goodly utterance. The springtime for earthly trees occurreth once every year, while the one for human trees appeareth in the days of God. Exalted be his glory. Were the trees of men's lives to be adorned with this divine springtime, with the fruits that have been mentioned, the effulgence of the light of justice would, of a certainty, illumine all the dwellers of the earth, and everyone would abide in tranquility and contentment beneath the sheltering shadow of him who is the object of all mankind.
I want to stop you there, Darrell. were the trees of men's lives to be adorned in the divine springtime. I love the language of the writings. I love it. I love it. It's so beautiful. But I think sometimes we need it to be broken down just a tiny bit. If for those who are listening, I mean, it's a pretty simple sentence to look at, but when you hear it,
yeah.
So springtime with the fruits that have been mentioned, the effulgence of the light of justice, would of a certainty illumine all the dwellers of the earth. In other words, again, these manifestations were the trees of men's lives to be adorned in the divine springtime. Are we in the time of a divine springtime?
Absolutely.
Okay, and for anyone who doesn't know what that means, go ahead, we'll finish your statement. No. This is the day of the manifestation of God. Is that what you're going to say? Something like that?
Something like that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We are in a divine springtime, but it can be spring all around you, and you either don't know it or don't benefit from it. Springtime were the trees of men's lives to be adorned in the divine springtime with the fruits that have been mentioned. The effulgence of the light of justice, the shining light of justice, the effulgence, the brightness of the effulgence of the light of justice would, of a certainty, absolutely, definitely, illumine or brighten all the dwellers of the earth, and everyone would abide in tranquility and contentment beneath the sheltering shadow of him who is the object of all mankind. Wow. I just felt like, man, I mean, I look at that and I just feel like, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. The water for these trees is the living water of the sacred words, uttered by the beloved of the world. In one instant are such trees planted, and in the next their branches shall, through the outpourings of the showers of divine mercy, have reached the skies. A dried up tree, however, hath never been, nor will be worthy of any mention.
Daryl.
A dried up tree, however, hath never been, nor will be worthy of any mention.
Did you have a favorite teacher when you were in school?
I did.
Who was your favorite teacher?
His name was Mr. Jordan. I used to walk to school with him every day, and he was a very short man who had a very fast walk. And I was in the 4th grade, and it took everything in my power to keep up with him because he walked so fast.
So why didn't you just stay with Mr. Jordan in 4th grade?
Because Mr. Jordan, as well as I recognized that a 4th grade education was not sufficient for me to survive in this world.
So you had to go to other teachers.
Of course.
I'd say they've served you well. The reason I asked that question, of course, is because, again, if the divine educators, the manifestations of God, are teachers, well, then, each of them does come with a mission. Each comes with a message. And, it's understandable that, whatever faith tradition we grew up in or that we have introduced to us, it's understandable that we may become, or that we be emotionally attached.
Yeah.
But we also need to understand that in the time of the divine springtime, the new manifestation of God comes to renew the message, as it says here, and that we need to be willing to move forward in our spiritual education. And sometimes you hear new names and new terms like talisman and calumny, and I think there was another one in there. So do we reject it?
No, we accept it and move on.
Yes.
That's how we grow.
Blessed beauty, be my guiding light. Blessed beauty, show the way. Blessed beauty, be my protector. Help me grow in love for you day by day. Blessed beauty, be my teacher. Blessed beauty, night and day. Blessed beauty, be my sustainer. I'll forever follow you, come what may. In the good times and the hard times, you've been right there, waiting to guide me. And if ever I would falter or stray, you stood waiting beside me. Blessed beauty, be my guiding light. Blessed beauty, show the way. Blessed beauty, be my protector. Help me grow in love for you day by day. I'll forever follow you, come what may. I like what you did on that. That was, for anyone, I'm just going to tell you. most of the songs that we play, not all of them, but most of them are original songs. And sometimes
And sometimes the first time that I hear them
yes.
is when we start playing.
And today is one of those times. We had a little time to kind of touch on it, but this is the first time we actually played through it. And wow. So yes, at this time, what we're going to do is if someone would like to share a prayer or reading or a song of your own choosing.
Kambiz, do you have something prepared for us today?
Yes, I do.
Well, please.
Well, I'm going to play the song that says, Abdul Baha holds my hand. A lot of Persians know that song.
And I'm going to get the Facebook camera and do what Nini does. Thank you, Kambi.
Create in me a pure heart, O my God, and renew a tranquil conscience within me. Sorry?
Please continue, Sue.
Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. O my hope, through the spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, O my best beloved, and by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path, O thou, the goal of my desire. Through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up unto the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being, and by the breezes of thine eternity, gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion, and let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my master, and let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy, O thou who art the most manifest of the manifest and the most hidden of the hidden.
Thank you, Sue.
سبحانك اللهم يا إلهي تطهر عيني ثم أذني ثم لساني ثم روحي ثم قلبي ثم نفسي ثم جسمي ثم جسدي عن التوجه إلى غيرك ثم اشربني عن كأس عزك المختوم ثم اشربني عن كأس عزك المختوم.
O Lord, unto thee I repair for refuge, and towards all thy signs I set my heart. O Lord, whether traveling or at home, and in my occupation or in my work, I place my whole trust in thee. Grant me then thy sufficing help as to make me independent of all things, O thou who art unsurpassed in thy mercy. Bestow upon me my portion, O Lord, as thou pleasest, and cause me to be satisfied with whatsoever thou hast ordained for me. Thine is the absolute authority to command.
Thank you. Let me reposition this. Hope I can get it about the way it was. I don't know that I can. Let's get it.
Glory be to thee, O my God. The first stirrings of the spring of thy grace have appeared and clothed thine earth with verdure. The clouds of the heaven of thy bounty have rained their rain on this city, within whose walls is imprisoned him whose desire is the salvation of thy creatures. Through the soil of this city hath been decked forth, and its trees clothed with foliage, and its inhabitants gladdened. The hearts of thy dear ones, however, will rejoice only at the divine springtime of thy tender mercies, whereby the hearts are quickened, and the souls are renewed, and the trees of human existence bear fruit. The plants that have sprung forth, O my Lord, in the hearts of thy loved ones have withered away. Send down then upon them from the clouds of thy spirit that which will cause the tender herbs of thy knowledge and wisdom to grow within their breasts. Rejoice then their hearts with the proclamation of thy cause and the exaltation of thy sovereignty. Their eyes, O my Lord, are expectantly turned in the direction of thy bounty, and their faces are set towards the horizon of thy grace. Suffer them not through thy bounty to be deprived of thy grace. Potent art thou by thy sovereign might over all things. No God is there but thee, the Almighty, the help in peril, the self-subsisting.